You say hi. Say hi. Yeah. So we have our natural hair out today, okay? And we have her amber teething necklace on. And she's just as happy as she can be. It's the rising time around 9 a.m. Sometimes we wake up around 7. Usually it's around 8. We don't really have a sleep schedule. We just sleep whenever. Sometimes we allow her to stay up a little bit with us and just chill. She is teething, okay? And you guys know. If you're a mama, you know. All right? But not every teething baby goes through it the same way. So, but yeah, she is very needy right now and feeding for comfort a lot of the time and chewing on everything. So we've just been giving her cold teething toys, normal teething toys, and letting her feed for comfort. It is Black Breastfeeding Week. I'm so excited. I love to talk about breastfeeding. I'm only 6 months in, about to be 7 months actually. And she is exclusively breastfed. I mean, she hasn't had any formula of any sort. She's just had breast milk straight from the womb, well, straight from birth. And she has had a bottle. I wanted to give her a bottle. Well, her father wanted to give her a bottle so that he could feed her while I get some rest at night, and that worked out perfectly for a few months. But we eventually just stick to breastfeeding. I mean, it's easier. You don't have to wash anything and store anything, you know, like that's what I'm all about, you know. And she loves it. She prefers it. So why not? And this bra is from Motherhood Maternity. It is a nursing bra. So yeah. But yeah, so I wanted to get on here and talk about my breastfeeding journey. You know, I feel like Black Breastfeeding Week, a lot of my sisters, I want to say, don't have the support they need when it comes to breastfeeding and don't have the education they need, you know. And I just want to inform you on some things that I learned throughout my journey and see if that could help you maybe. So yes, she's been exclusively breastfed since birth. And I want to say that before she was even born, during my pregnancy, I did a lot of research on breastfeeding. I got some breastfeeding books and just really learned about the anatomy of breastfeeding and the anatomy of her and her body and what she needs and, you know, stuff like that. So when it comes to breastfeeding, the first few days that your newborn is here, you have milk that is considered golden milk, and that is just called colostrum. And basically this is the starting milk. This is the milk that your newborn needs. Your newborn's stomach is very, very small. If I can, I'll insert a chart of what that looks like, because over a time period of days your newborn's stomach is going to grow slowly. But you know, a lot of Black women in our communities always feel as though they're not making enough milk for their baby, or they need to supplement with formula or rice cereal, whatever that stuff is. And I'm here to let you know that, sis, if you grew that baby with no help besides the food and maybe the supplements that you were taking, your body is gonna make the milk that is enough for your baby, okay? Like, don't doubt yourself. Don't feel like, you are not making enough, because usually those reasons aren't valid reasons, you know. Throughout the first few days, you're gonna make colostrum, which isn't gonna be much, and it's gonna be yellow. And then throughout that time, your milk is gonna transition into, I believe it's hind milk. I believe. Sorry. Um, and as the days and weeks progress, your milk is gonna come in more and more. And so don't doubt yourself, you know. As long as your baby is having nice diapers full of poo and pee on a daily basis, you know, you shouldn't worry, you know. Newborns cry, newborns feed a lot. You have to understand what cluster feeding is. Cluster feeding is when they're pretty much just on your boob all day. All day, you know. If your newborn is awake, they're probably gonna want to breastfeed, okay? And it's fine. They're just gonna feed, they're gonna sleep, and they're gonna use the bathroom. And you know, it can be hard because when you first start breastfeeding, it may be a little discomfort. But I do want to compare breastfeeding to sex, and I might have to put an adult thing on this video. But, you know, just like sex, for some of us at least, it may have been a little uncomfortable at first, but you have to push through, okay? Or you don't have to, but you choose to push through. And, you know, and so with breastfeeding, it's a journey and it's all mental, okay? It is a lot of mental strength to want to give your baby breastfeeding, want to be able to sit down and give that to this human, you know. You have to sit with yourself ultimately. So yeah, I just want to say that it's going to be a little uncomfortable, and as time goes on, it will not get uncomfortable anymore. And I know that some of you heard, like, women that breastfeed for years, they don't feel anything anymore. So, you know, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not judging. It is what it is. Am I there yet? Not yet. But I can see how that's a thing. All right. So, yes, newborns are going to want to feed a lot. Okay. Don't doubt your milk. Okay. Pumping. I want to talk about pumping very slightly. Pumping within the first 6 weeks of breastfeeding, you want to avoid that, okay? It is important that you allow your baby to latch on so that your milk in your body knows what your baby needs, okay? Okay, the more your baby's on, the more milk you're making. The more milk you are removing, the more milk you're making. It's like a factory. The more you ship out, the more you bring in, okay? So supply and demand. You want to keep your baby latched on. If you're pumping, a pump isn't going to pull your milk out as efficiently as your baby, all right? So when you're pumping, you're basically tricking your body. Now, it works if you are pumping to replace a feeding. So let's say your baby is away from you at grandma's house for a few hours. Around the time that your baby would normally feed, you want to pump so that the milk is still moving, you know, you're not going to get engorged. So yeah, avoid pumping within the first 6 weeks though, because if you do it before 6 weeks, it can mess up your supply. You can create oversupply, have too much milk, then you're just going to be stashing a lot of milk. And if you want to donate that, great, if that's your intention. But if you don't want to oversupply, it's really not necessary. If you plan on traveling, taking a vacation, then it makes sense why you would pump, because you do want to save for the travels, all right? So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. But yeah, I just want to say that breastfeeding is a journey, and I feel like this generation, we are breaking a lot of generational curses, and it is very hard when we don't see these things being normalized. And breastfeeding is not that normalized, to be honest, especially in younger women, because I understand it's very hard to just sit still. One of the challenges that I felt with breastfeeding in the first few weeks was just sitting down and doing it. Like, I was such an active person. I would be up and moving all day long and doing yoga on the floor, you know. And breastfeeding, I had to really just sit there and feed her. And it was challenging to just sit on my, you know, all day because I wasn't used to doing that. I mean, during pregnancy, I kind of got used to it. So just because you guys know. But yeah, so it's kind of meditative when you breastfeed because you're really sitting in a sacred space with your child, bonding with them, nourishing them, and you're also sitting there with your thoughts. And you know, it's a beautiful, beautiful bonding experience. It is a beautiful, sacred experience, but it can also be challenging just sitting there all the time. I also just want to give recognition to formula. Now, I did not want to give my baby formula because I don't trust everything that they put in formula. I mean, as you guys saw, there was a big recall on, it was like purees, chilled, like baby food, claiming to have like toxic metals in it and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm just like, you know, like, what are they doing out here? You know, you can't really trust some of these companies and their intentions. And so, you know, once we do start feeding her, I think I'm going to make things myself here at home, and I can show you guys what I make as well. But as of right now, she's just breastfeeding. We haven't fed her anything. She's about to be 7 months, and I feel fine with that. I feel like she's happy. I feel like she's good. I don't want to talk down on formulas in any way. I just want to say that I do give thanks to the fact that formula exists. You know, taking milk from other animals is a bit weird for me, but at the same time, I can understand how in an emergency such as a mother passing away for whatever reason, you would need formula in that manner, and that would probably be the only thing that you have. But at the same time, you can have donated milk. Like, living in this century, luckily there's women who donate their milk, and you know, you can definitely take that route. I would suggest taking that route before formula, but I mean, I'm not sure how that goes. If you might not have the funds for that and you can afford formula, which sounds really backwards, I don't know. I'm just saying I haven't done enough research in that realm to know the charges of that. But yeah, I give thanks to the fact that formula exists. Formula keeps babies alive, okay? And that's what really matters, okay? Yes, we want our babies healthy. We want to give our babies the best thing possible. I mean, breastfeeding is so convenient. It's so convenient. Like, in a way, it's not that convenient, but also it's very convenient because it's on you at all times. You know, you don't need to pack anything. You don't need to wash anything. You don't need to mix anything. It's there. It's ready. So we're definitely entering the wild breastfeeding stages where she's like pulling my hair, slapping and scratching, and doing baby yoga while still breastfeeding. So, you know, wish me luck. This is a journey, and I'm grateful, and I love it, and it's just such a sacred thing, and I can't wait for her to be old enough to have her own children and do it, or just practice doing it with her Barbie dolls. Like, I love seeing stuff like that. Baby wearing Stuff like that. I'm here for it. It is generationally healing. It truly is, not just for Black women, but indigenous women. And it connects us to our roots, and it connects us to our children, and it passes information down that we are doing this and we are gonna be self-governed one day. Okay, like, I had a home birth. Okay, like, we are taking the steps to build our own community, okay, to do things on our own and not rely on the system, okay, not have fear in our hearts, and have knowledge and wisdom, and take that with us into the sunset, okay? No, but seriously, this is revolutionary, okay? And spread the knowledge, all right? Spread the wisdom. If you have any pregnant friends, give them books on breastfeeding, give them books on home births, Definitely recommend doing so much research. I learned a lot from Facebook groups. They have groups on literally everything: home birth, breastfeeding, baby wearing, indigenous decolonizing your world, your life, homeschooling, unschooling. Okay, so they have really good resources. It's pretty much a little community, but virtually, and we live in a virtual reality at this point. So why not take advantage of the knowledge and the wisdom that you can gain on these platforms? All right, follow people who spread knowledge and not bad things. Like, follow people that inspire you more and more every day. Okay, we are decolonizing, we are becoming self-governed, and we are building our community, and we are putting out this fear, and we are spreading the knowledge. All right, I just want to show you that I do use a boppy pillow, and I usually just use this as an armrest, but when she was a newborn, her dad did put her in here and prop her up in here and stuff. So yes, it works nice. Actually, I did use it for her in the newborn stages. I did put her on it, or I would sit on it because my butt hurts so much after giving birth. My bone hurts. So yeah, I've tried the Haka milk catching thing. I do think that is, well, they say that it's a pump. It's like a manual pump thing. I like that a lot. It did catch a lot of milk, but it also created more milk just because it was suctioning and pulling milk out. So that works great though. Like, if you want to save milk, have your baby on one breast and then put the Haka on the other, and it'll catch your letdown, but it'll also pull out more, just a little more. And you can just do that manually. If you don't want the suction of the cup, you can just put a normal cup there and just catch the letdown like that. But yeah, I love breastfeeding. It has been beautiful experience for us so far. She is a good breastfeeding baby, and she latched on instantly straight out the womb, and she had a good latch. She didn't have any tongue ties or anything like that. So I feel lucky in that manner. I'm just watching her. She's crawling around on the floor. But yeah, she didn't have any tongue ties or anything like that. She latched on pretty fast, and it was just so epic and trippy, and I just loved it so much, and I love her so much, and she's definitely a breastfeeding baby. Okay, you know what they say. Yeah, I would say that it is mental. Okay, it is mental. I would say do your research in your pregnancy or even before pregnancy. If you can take a class, take a class. I didn't take a class. I just did my research at home, watched a lot of videos, read a lot of books, was in Facebook groups, talked to real women, okay? So, yeah. They have lactation consultants for this reason. If you are struggling, if you need support, seek support. And not to diss anybody, but your grandmother, your mother-in-law, they are not supportive. If they are not supporting you, you know, if they are against breastfeeding, if they're pressuring you to give a baby a bottle, to supplement with formula, supplement with rice cereal, seek other help. Okay, save yourself the energy, save yourself the debate, and just seek someone who is educated in this realm, because they are going to press on what they believe in onto you. And, you know, do what you feel is best. You know, do what you want, do what you feel is best for your baby, and get people in your circle who are aboard with you and who understand you and who are like-minded. So be strong, you know, push through. Yeah, you got this. You have sisters who are out here in the world who are doing this with you. And if you're breastfeeding your baby till 3 years old, do what you got to do, mama, because that's your business, all right? And that's your baby's business. Also, Michael Jordan was breastfed until he was 3 years old. Just saying. Just saying, you know, breastfeeding is powerful, okay? Breastfeeding is the cure to a lot of different things. You okay? Breastfeeding is the cure to stretch marks, acne, cradle cap, baby acne. My baby, she had a reaction to almond oil. I put breast milk on it. It was literally gone within like 48 hours. Breast milk is magical. It's so magical. So, you know, do what you got to do out here, all right? And I love you. And I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And see you in the next one.